I'm going to share a story with you. It happened many years ago. I ended up in hospital because they found a tumour in my stomach and said that they weren't going to risk doing a biopsy because it had nodules, and they felt it was best to have the stomach removed. So that's what happened. Well, they put me in this room, and I was lucky to get a room all by myself. As it turned out, I wasn't exactly alone. In the room was another spirit who was adamant that I was in his bed. So I wasn't very popular, but I have dealt with many spirits, and in a hospital it's common for them to be around. So I wasn't spooked in any way. But of course, I did question a few times whether it was the morphine that they gave me that was making me hallucinate or, imagine these things, because I try to analyze things and not jump to conclusions that everything is spiritual or paranormal. Anyway, here I am hooked up with all these needles in my arms, can't move, have these compressors on my legs to help prevent getting any clots in my legs. And I was literally bedridden. Well, I fall asleep and I wake up in the dead of night to the TV blaring in my room. Now, I didn't turn on the TV, and the remote to the TV was actually hanging on the wall behind me. And there was no way I was going to be able to get to that with the big machine in the way, with the drip and the monitor and so on. So, of course, I press the buzzer, the nurse comes in, and I said, "Can you please turn off that TV?" And she said, "Why have you got it up so loud?" And I said, "I didn't turn it on." I said, "It might be on delay or something, or timer or something." And she said, "No, they don't have timers on these." And I said, "Well, it wasn't me." I said, "The remote's on the wall. I haven't touched it." And she looked behind the bed and she said, "How did you get to it?" And I said, "I haven't touched it. That's what I just said. So can you please turn it off?" She switched it off. She looked at me a bit puzzled, as if to say, "How could you reach it? How could you move?" Anyway, I don't think she believed me. She walked out the room. The next night, this blasting of the TV. And the funniest thing was, the music playing on the TV was that song, "You're just too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you." It was a commercial or something, but I found it quite funny. And again, I buzzed the nurse. She came in and I said, "Look, it must be on timer." And I said, "Because this is the second night in a row this has happened." And I could hear this snickering. And I said, "Oh, hang on. It's not on timer, is it?" And she said, "No, we don't have timers on these TVs. They're not set to that. They're either just turned on, off, or volume up and down. And you can switch the station, but you can't set a timer on them to come on at a certain time." And I said, "It's okay. I think I know what's going on here." So that was the first I'd experienced a spirit actually turning on a TV. Now, they've turned on lights in my home and so on, but they had never turned on TVs and so on. But this one was determined to get my attention. So I said to her, "Look, just leave that controller on the table here. Just leave it beside. In case it comes on again, I can then turn it off myself." So she went out, leaving me with this controller. And this is what happened. Spirit, can you turn on that TV? Can you make it come on again? Spirit, can you turn on that TV? Can you make it come on again? The next day, I was speaking to the nurse, and I actually told her about this spirit who was trying to scare me out of his room. He said that was his room. At the time, he was referring to himself as a demon, and then he was like at some point saying, I'm a demon because of the fact that I was in his room. And then she said to me, oh, that sounds like, and she said his name, but I can't for the life of remember what she said. But she said the patient that was in my room before me had passed away. And I said, well, he wants his bed back. He was upset that I was in his bed. And I described her, the male that I actually saw, because he's quite tall, this one. And I actually captured a photo of him that night standing beside the TV. And he appeared almost blue, like this incredible blue mist just appeared at the foot of my bed. And I thought, he's going to turn on that TV again, but he didn't. So because I had said to him, turn on the TV, he didn't want to. So usually when you ask them to do something, they will either do it if they want to or they won't. Just keep in mind, spirits have a choice. You can't force them to do anything they don't want to. But I think he just wanted me to know that he was there and that was his room. And the day that I was leaving, I said, you can have your room back, but I don't know for how long. So that's my story of my spirit encounter at the hospital.